facing the police every single day.
Say hi, Andy. I'm recording you.
Alright, you get the whole thing, right?
I got you.
Ocean City cops are not people.
Yes, they are. You know what's really criminal?
What's that?
Those knee-high socks.
I know, but that's what the brown shirts wore.
People waiting, but I'll start off with this preamble. My name is Superintendent Susan Maycock, retired from the Peel Regional Police in Ontario, Canada. I'm the leader of the team that is assessing the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office for their reaccreditation in the Calea process. My teammate with me working on this is Lieutenant Courtney Morrison. She's from the Newton County Sheriff's Office in Georgia. We have been asked by the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies of Gainesville, Virginia, to assess the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office for their reaccreditation. The agency has voluntarily contracted with the Commission to work toward the reaccreditation and thereby continue to demonstrate its professional excellence. When the agency originally entered the process, it received the Commission's Standards Manual, which included 459 standards, encompassing all facets of law enforcement. The Commission accredited this agency in 2016 after determining it had demonstrated its compliance with all applicable standards. Since then, the agency has attempted to maintain those standards. Our responsibility as assessors for the Commission is to revisit this agency and verify it has remained in compliance since it was first accredited. The accreditation manager oversees the reaccreditation process for this agency. In accordance with the Commission's public information policy, the agency's candidacy for reaccreditation has been publicized in the area, and the agencies had arranged for this public hearing. The public hearing is intended to provide interested citizens or employees of the agency an opportunity to address this assessment team concerning the agency. Any comments that you make will be considered by us as we review the agency and will also be reported back to the Commission. If you wish to supplement your verbal comments with a written statement or exhibits, you may present them by email or by regular mail to the Commission, where they will be reviewed when the agency is presented for reaccreditation at a formal Commission conference. Your remarks may be mailed to the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, 13575 Heathcote Boulevard, Suite 320, Gainesville, Virginia, zip code being 20155-6660. I want to make it known that this meeting is being recorded, and a copy of the recording can be made available to the Commission. So, let's start off again, as I said, with Mr. Andrew Sheets. Mr. Sheets, if you'd like to go ahead and offer us any comments that you feel are pertinent.
All right. Yes, I would like to know, why wasn't this done in person?
Well, because of COVID, we're not allowed to travel.
All right. In Florida, you are. Okay, that's fine. That's why there's hardly anybody here. This was very hard to find this link. So I believe they could have posted it on their Facebook. They could have posted on the blog that they have. So that's why I believe nobody else is here but me. This is very sad. So my first complaint is I was illegally trespassed for filming and making a records request at the sheriff's office in the public lobby. And this happened 1 month before the election last year. and he defamed and slandered me and said, how can I run for sheriff if I'm trespassed from the office? He trespassed me from every single agency in Charlotte County and the police and the jail, just for going into making a records request and filming it. My second complaint is, I just found out 2 weeks ago, the sheriff is working with the sheriff in Lee County, and they put me on a list called anti-Leo, anti-government. The sheriff is breaking the records law here, and he's not giving me documents that he sent back to them. And I found out from the Lee County Sheriff's Office that I have been under investigation for 3 years just because I hold the sheriff and the government accountable. I'm a reporter for Copwatch. I have been for 9 years. My third complaint, 14th Amendment equal protection under the law violation by the Sheriff's Office. Many times, sadly, through the years, I have been attacked, and the sheriff knows about it. I've tried to file with him so he could file charges. He would not. In fact, it was just 2 years ago, a man tried to kill me by cop 3 different times. And he was witness tampering. The sheriff knows about it. He would not do anything about it. I had to go to the DOJ and the FBI. The latest incident where somebody tried to assault me because of what I do was a 2 guys gun show, and literally 6 of his deputies would not take the report. I have video of it. I wanted to swear it out. They would not take the swear out. They would not take the video. I had to make a big stink for 2 weeks just for them to do a proper investigation, which they supposedly finally did and give it to the state attorney's office. Also, another complaint. The sheriff had an illegal list of gun owners in Florida, which is illegal, and was illegally profiling them, which is a 3rd-degree felony and a $5 million fine. I gave the evidence to the state attorney's office, and she said the list is not a list. Did you hear what I said? The state attorney literally admitted it is a list, but yet she would not charge him with the crime. It's disgusting. This sheriff and his agency has killed the most people in the streets and in the jail than any other sheriff we have ever had. Why he cannot use more or less than lethal, I have no idea. Another complaint. This sheriff has the most out-of-control budget we have ever had. In fact, he just went in front of the commissioners again to ask for another $20 million. So completely out of control budget. It took me 9 years to get him to get body cameras. I have been told by somebody who used to work at the agency, when he first took over 9 years ago, they had cameras in the car, and he got rid of a lot of them because he wanted to hide the things that he was doing. And after hammering him for 9 years, he finally is getting them. But now he's violating records law and overcharging us trying to get the videos. I don't make money doing what I'm doing. And so, like I said, he's breaking Florida records law, overcharging, trying to get the videos. They also admitted to my face, the county's lawyer did, the sheriff's lawyer did. He literally said to my face on video that I have to sue them to get records if I want to get records. So they are knowingly admitting that they're violating records law, and they just don't care. They said I have to sue them to get them, which is illegal here. It's a misdemeanor. Also, some years ago, the sheriff illegally recorded lawyers and their clients in jail, up to 300 of them. I've talked to lawyers here, and they always wondered how the sheriff knew everything when they went to plea deal. That's how he knew everything. He was illegally recording them. And then the last one that I have is I've been illegally investigated by the sheriff's office countless times over the 9 years just because I report on corruption, of their corruption and the government's corruption here. In fact, last time I asked for documents if I'm under investigation, they have 2 more investigations. I have no idea for what. I do not break the law. I do not like to go to jail. When I was a kid, I've been in jail before. It was not fun. I learned my lesson. And now just holding them accountable, he's illegally investigating me again. Do you have any questions?
I'm sorry, what was the last comment?
Do you have any questions?
Not at the moment. I'm still trying to get down some of these notes. You said a lot and said it very quickly, so there's a lot of points to catch here.
All right, so you guys are recording it. You can go back into it later, correct?
I could, but I like to get my report done, and I
Okay.
like to get notes for my own purpose and reference. So I think I got the majority of what has been said. What do you do for a living?
So during the day, me and my wife have a house cleaning company. So during the day, I do that. I will admit I'm a recovering alcoholic. I go to AA meetings, and so my new hobby is instead of drinking and drugging, I hold the police and the government accountable just like they hold us accountable every single day.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Sheets, you've given me a lot of information here, which I will have to follow up. Which I can do in the next day or so, and it will all be reported in my report to the commission.
All right, and you said there is an email that I can email some of this evidence?
Yes. Let me see if I don't know if I have that right here on my paperwork here. If not, I'll see that. Do we have a phone number for you? Can you give me a phone number?
Yeah, you can text it, whatever you want. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right, 941
941
916
916
2259.
2259. Okay. I'll see that the email address is sent to you. The email address for Calea
Okay.
at .org, and the contact person that you should mail it to there.
All right, I'd appreciate it. And like I said, the last time they had this in person, there was a lot more people. And the way that he did it this time, I believe that's why you don't have anybody here. You know, he posted it like a week ago on Facebook, and he never put the link. And I had to call you guys and the sheriff's office just to find out where the link was, and that's why I don't think anybody else is here. So I think this is just disgusting.
Well, I think there was reasons for not putting the link in the original information. Was there nothing in that said the link would be provided at a later date?
All right, and it did. And then, like I said, in my opinion, this meeting is so important, it should have been updated on the sheriff's webpage and on Facebook, and it was not.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you for that. You can make a note of that as well. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Thank you for taking the time and coming to speak to us. And as I said, I will follow up on your issues and make it in my report.
All right, I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't see that we have any other callers at the moment, but we will stay.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to do this my first time. All I got to say is Sheriff Prummell, or what I say, I call him fuckface.
Excuse me, I don't know who's calling.
I think I'm talking, man. I also call him part of a pussy because him and
What is your name?
Rodney McGee.
Okay, Rodney. Profanity will not be allowed if you.
I got
have you disconnected.
constitutional right to say whatever the fuck I want when I want to say it. Shut up, bitch, I'm talking.
All right. Can you please disconnect Mr. Rodney McGee?
That's
not
the
even-
meeting. Can you click on it and give 5 minutes of the sheriff as a piece of shit?
That it is now almost 5:30, and we have only had the one caller, well, Mr. Sheets, and then of course the second caller that was unfortunately not worthy to listen to given his profanity. I'm going to close this meeting at this time.
Susan, we do have a guest, Artha Villa.
Okay.
You can see him there. Mr. Villa, can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am. I barely hear you. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Villa, Arthur Villa?
Fine. VIA. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Mr. Villa, would you like to make some comments to the accreditation team on this reaccreditation for the agency?
I'll be pleased to. I'll be brief as possible. Pardon me. On May the 1st, 2019, I called the Charlotte County Sheriff's Department to receive assistance in a delicate matter with my daughter. Cannot stress enough, there were no laws being broken by anyone. She's an outstanding person, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, no drugs, great student, college student in California now. I still, to this point, I say this and I get very nervous as I am right now for whatever reason. One of the sheriffs showed his ego and his power, looked at me, and said, and I quote exactly, I might just arrest you on a felony and take you to jail. I have, to this point, why? He was showing his arrogance and his power. I am verbal, I'm educated, and I was just flabbergasted, as one might imagine. And yes, I insulted him verbally. The next thing that I knew, he fabricated a police arrest report and came in. I was cuffed and taken to jail on a bogus, there was no charge. In fact, let me point this out quickly. Fortunately for me, and I'm pursuing this legally, something I want to forget, but I just can't. There are nightmares. I'm not a lawbreaker. I'm certainly not a criminal. Born in Sarasota. I'm a good guy, and I was an employer in Southwest Florida for many, many years, as was my father and my brother. I mean, I just don't go this route. But I cannot forget it. There are nightmares, horrible dreams. And ultimately, I ended up 60 days in that pit they call a jail. Because I would not lie and admit to doing something that I did not do. Finally received a nolle prosequi from a very good attorney who told me that he knew from the very beginning I should not be in there. Fortunately, what this deputy did not know is I was recently discharged from the hospital with diagnosis of severe neuropathy in my leg, and I could not walk prior to a few days before this until I was given a medication, non-narcotic, that enabled me to function again. What this cop wrote in the police record, or police report, arrest report, was physical impossibility. I'm horrified. Being completely honest and frank with you, I don't like living in Charlotte County any longer. I've been here 25 years. I have a little house over here on the harbor. Love fishing, but even seeing a police car just makes my heart race. I'm sure you understand. This was the most blatant, abuse of power that I had ever seen, and I'm getting in counseling. I've been under doctor's care for this, and have a couple of attorneys that I'm going to go ahead and contact. I have to pursue it. But I don't know. I don't know how anyone can do such a thing. Can lie on a police report, an arrest record, and send a man to jail for 60 days. And that's what happened. And you know, I don't know what your remedy for such events are. But I certainly hope you find one, because the idea that of another man or woman having to go through that is just, it's just so sad to me. The deputy's name, I only know the last name was Hoffchild. I did file a complaint with Charlotte County Sheriff's Department. I went there and filed a complaint with Sergeant Terry. I have it on record. Forgive me for forgetting his last name. I filed a complaint with the Department of Justice, the ADA division, but they couldn't accept it because they could not guarantee factually that the cop knew I was disabled, which I understand, and I'm refunding the Department of Justice under a normal claim. So that's my story, and I have no idea what you'll do to change a man's heart, his ego, his desire for power, but I certainly wish you all the best. If there's any way that I can help, I will gladly leave my contact information with who I have no fear of them, but they do me very, very service.
Mr. Villa, I missed it at the beginning. Could you give me the date of this incident again, please?
May the 1st, 2019.
And you said that you made a complaint?
Now, let me explain this. When this happened, I have severe COPD, chronic bronchitis, pardon me, and emphysema. I was virtually home for, I guess, 2 weeks. I wasn't driving at the time, and I had to decide on whether going to the hospital because of respiratory issues, or back to the house where I could get, where I was taking daily breathing. I texted my wife, said, "We will not be home." I misunderstood that as they are not. Okay, but it was "we will not be home," and the deputy saw me, and they rear-arrested me, revoked my bond, and where I sat. But I can't stress it enough. I'm not a criminal. I had no choice. I certainly wasn't going to go to the hospital with that. When the breathing treatments I take daily, was putting my lungs back around so that I could breathe. And coming back to the house, it just made all the sense. Come in, get a breathing treatment for an hour, and leave. I'm sure you would at least understand that. And then I want to stress this: zero medical treatment, along with documented lie. From the first few days in, I received a very inexpensive drug, levothyroxine, for a thyroid issue. I was continuously told they did not have my medical records and had not received them yet. The drug that enabled me to walk was very expensive. I was a businessman. I pay attention to these things. I never did receive it. It would have cost them, I believe it was $600. I figured $600 wholesale for 30 days. I never did receive it, but they lied, told me they did not receive my medical records, although they gave me the levothyroxine almost immediately. That was it. Finally, my doctor, Dr. Bott, Prummell, this wonderful man I've been with 10 years, he faxed an order for them to give me, start giving me breathing treatment, pardon me.
Could I please get a bit more information from you so that I can follow this up? Where exactly did this happen?
2 seizures and 3 concussions, and that was completely ignored. One of the other inmates told me I was turning blue in the evening, and I mean the guy danced. I didn't know it. I just felt very, very dizzy, and he went to grab one of the guards who came over, tried to flashlight, and said, "I'll get you a nurse in the morning." It's just, I understand, like an criminal is lesser than, not human being. That's just not the case. Certainly,
Mr. Villa, Mr. Villa, Mr. Villa.
I don't know how to get this down any more than that. But again, I'll put my personal information, contact information, I can exist anywhere more than that.
Mr. Villa.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I please have an opportunity to speak?
Please do. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. I'm trying to.
Wait, I can barely hear you. Please do.
How you doing? The best I can. Mr. Villa, what I want to do is get some information so I can follow this up. Now, I've got the date of the incident. Can you tell me where it happened? What was the location?
My home, 361 Duxbury Avenue.
What's the name of the avenue?
Duxbury, D-U-X-B-Y.
Okay.
And again, is there a volume? Turn up, I can barely hear you.
It's as loud as it's going to go. Can you tell me, did this happen in Charlotte County with the Sheriff's Department?
Yes, ma'am. This is right off of Conway.
All right, thank you. Now, did you file a complaint with the Sheriff's Department regarding this incident?
Yes, ma'am. They came back, as expected, calling it unfounded.
Okay. And was that complaint filed shortly after, or can you give me a kind of a time frame in relation to the incident?
No, ma'am. It was not. Again, it was my intention to simply forget this, but I am unable to. So I had no choice but to pursue it.
Okay. But when did you file the complaint?
I have the exact dates. I see 4 months ago.
Was it within a couple of months or 6 months?
Oh no, ma'am. No, ma'am. This was a few years later.
A few
And
years
one day I can't stress it enough. Horrible nightmare, and from this, and I just I got to point. I have to do something.
Okay.
So I contacted the Florida State's attorney, and they said I had to, by law, start filing a complaint with the Charlotte County Sheriff's Department. That's when I did.
Okay. All right. I will follow this up and will report it in my report. I believe that we have another speaker here now, and I would like to move on and give other people an opportunity to speak. Thank you for taking the time to contact us tonight and provide your information.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have what I believe is another speaker here.
We have 2 people that entered, Susan. One is listed as Dr. Sean Berry, and the other one is listed here as Open Government Investigation, I believe.
Okay. I see one here. I'm going to try just clicking on this. It says 01, which is what's showing up on my screen. Maybe I can find it this way. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Okay. Dr. Sean Berry.
How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
I'm not doing too bad. I don't see my picture on here anywhere. I'm not sure about this app.
Well, you have a little picture of a video camera there, but the important thing is that we can hear you, which I can do.
Okay. Yeah, I have is this just Charlotte County or is this Punta Gorda in particular?
I'm sorry, it's in relation to the Charlotte County Sheriff's Department.
Okay. I am a journalist. I blog quite a bit. I've been doing it for several years now. I've been trespassed over the past 2 years on different occasions from many of the city and county buildings, rather. I have been threatened with arrest for coming in doing public records requests on multiple occasions. I've been belittled by the sheriff's department. Had my camera grabbed at on several occasions before I was trespassed or even trespass warned. That would constitute an assault on my person by the deputies. So yeah, this is definitely a county that we're paying close attention to try to get our First Amendment rights back.
Have you filed any public complaints with the Sheriff's Department, sir?
Yes, filed several complaints.
And have you received information back from them on those complaints?
No, I haven't, no.
Not on any of the complaints?
Not on any of them, no.
Okay. All right. Again, then what I will do, I will follow up with and find out about those complaints and take your comments and what information I can get, and will report it in my report to the commission. Okay.
The most recent complaint and incident was back in February. No, I take it back. It was in somewhere this summer. I wasn't trespassed. I was warned to be arrested in the police department, the Punta Gorda Police Department, rather. But this is a larger problem with the county. The city itself, they take their lead from the county. So the tax collector's office, I didn't go in and film. I filmed from the outside, while several of my colleagues went in and filmed, and they were trespass warned. So, but I wasn't trespass warned myself this time from the Punta Gorda tax collector, rather. I'm sorry. But I am banned from the trespass from the entire county complex and out the main complex.
Yes, the DMV and the Punta Gorda is.
Thank you for your information and for taking the time to contact us. I'm going to move on now to a number of other callers that we have here.
It looks like we have a guest by the name of Nicole. She's raising her hand.
Yes,
can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, Nicole?
Yes, this is Nicole.
Yes.
Nicole Christian.
Your last
I filed a complaint in February of 2018 for being manhandled at a bicycle traffic stop by the lead officer who stopped me and said my tail light was out, and it was not out. It was on and blinking, and then he said he couldn't see it from the back, so it was still a violation. He needed all my data to give me a written warning because my light was obscured. And he was acting very strangely, and I didn't want to give him my data. I have a right to privacy. I had not committed what I thought was a crime. And so I asked for backup. The backup came. I gave my name and information. 45 minutes later, he took me to jail for failure to provide my information. He completely lied about that. There was no reason to take me to jail. And I sat in jail for 10 days without seeing a judge because he lied and said that I was uncooperative and that I was, I don't know what he said because I wasn't even at the hearing they held at 8:30 in the morning the next day. But I was not allowed to attend either by video or in person, even though I requested it several times and demanded my right to talk to the judge. And they when I told them that the man had grabbed me and moved me from the front wheel of his vehicle to the back wheel of his vehicle, and they were standing outside his car, and they were searching through my purse, my book bag, and my violin case to find some kind of evidence that they could screw me on, and there was nothing, because I'm a very clean living person. They lied and said that he never touched me. And that I don't know how a woman alone at night with no witnesses is supposed to protect herself from these ogres who gang up with the arms all over them. They could tase me, they could throw me to the ground, they could rape me. Nobody would know. They would just lie and say nothing happened. And that's what they did. And so I'm very upset with this regime of terror that does not follow the law and then covers up for each other by swearing and lying, and now my name is mud, and that has caused me loss of jobs, that has caused me embarrassment in the community. When people Google my name, I come up as a criminal for resisting arrest, or not, I forget what it is. I know it's a first-degree misdemeanor to obstruct justice, or you know, I don't know what they charge me with, but I just, it's so upsetting to be barely making a living and then have that happen. So this was with the knowledge and consent of the squad, and that's under the leadership of our current sheriff and his policy of taking everybody's name that gets stopped and writing down all their personal information, where they live, how old they are, and anything else they can. And they do it under guise and under color of law, and it's not right. My right to privacy, my right to liberty, my right to personal happiness was all demolished in one 45-minute stop at the roadside. And I'm just still very upset about it. And that was like almost 5 years ago.
Did you file a public complaint?
I was at the jail, and I talked to someone there, and I made a formal complaint, had an interview, she wrote everything down, they sent me a letter, and they said they'd investigated, and they said that it never happened. End of story. I have no recourse.
And this was February the 28th, what year?
No, it was not the 28th, it was February the 14th. Or 15th. It was right after midnight on the 15th.
And what year?
No, 2018.
2018. Okay, that's where it came from. Okay. All right. Thank you for your information. I will follow this up.
I couldn't even make a call out of the jail because their policy is to have you book in before you can make a phone call. And I said I don't need to book in. I shouldn't even be here. But they wanted my fingerprints, my photograph, my entire life history, and all with no compensation for me and no recourse. I couldn't talk to a lawyer or a judge before being booked in, and that is wrong. That is absolutely obstruction of justice.
Nicole, do you want to give me your surname so I can follow this up?
Yes, I said it at the first. Nicole Christian.
Christian, thank you.
With a C. Christ, I-A-N.
Yes, thank you. All right. I will follow this up, and as I said, put in my report your complaint and my follow-up.
I appreciate that. I would like to know why the policy is you can't see a judge before being booked in. I think that's absolutely mistaken. I have another friend who is a client of mine. I do house cleaning, and he was renting out a room in his house to a couple that weren't married in order to make some extra cash, and they turned out to be druggies, and they didn't pay for, I don't know, they owed him $900, and he kept saying, you've got to leave, you can't stay here, I can't afford you. And they would bring in free food and consider that rent, and he's like, that doesn't count. And he was yelling at them one night, and somebody called the cops for a noise disturbance, and the woman punched him in the stomach. He's not over 65, but he's in his 60s, and they punched him in the stomach, and he has a stomach condition. And she knew that was his spot, and she wanted to incapacitate him and hurt him. And so Then she ran into his bedroom and called 911 and said that she was afraid for her life and her boyfriend's life, that he might do something to them, because he was upset that they hadn't paid rent, and she knew that was a problem, but, you know, she was upset, afraid that he would harm their lives. So they sent a cop. They had previously called a cop that stopped at the donut shop that the guy used to work at. And they knew him and they had his personal number. They called his personal cell phone number first. And they said, what do we do? He said, call 911 and I'm right down the road. I'll walk down and I'll be on the scene for you. And that's what they did. He wasn't registered as being on the scene. He waited for the next guy to come and take over. But he made sure that the landowner who was living there went to jail because the man who was the flophouse druggie said, I'm going to kill you. And you could hear it on the 911 call. And they put in the police report that it was the landowner who said that and not the druggie renter who wasn't paying. And instead of examining the facts, they kept this man in the jail for over 30 days. And then they sent him home with no charges. And the two druggies got out of Dodge and disappeared and left the state apparently 3 days prior to his release. So obviously they were alerted that he was going to have a hearing for reduced bail, and the sheriff got to bill the county for a month of this guy being in there for no reason. And that's totally bogus. They should have taken the druggies who were causing the problem and not paying, and then he robbed him blind on their way out.
Nicole, thank you, but I can only deal with your complaint, but I will consider everything that you have said.
Well, he's not a techie, so he can't get on this line. He doesn't have that capacity.
All right, well, I have the information from you. We have other callers here, and I need to ask you to let me go on to them now, please.
All right. All right.
We have a thing here, open government investigation. Is there someone representing this agency?
It's not an agency. I'm a reporter.
Okay. Oh, I see you here. Yes, would you like to add comments?
Yeah, it's mainly, I just have a kind of an inquiry into Calea. What is this? This is an assessment public hearing. Do you have any assessment public hearings for either the county sheriff's office or White County Sheriff's Office coming up soon?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm not aware of the schedule. I'm only advised when I'm in charge of one.
Government
Do
offices.
you have any contact information that you could provide me so that I could reach out to someone to see when there might be a planned assessment?
I can give you the Calea email address, and you could send an email there and ask.
Okay, yeah, that works.
All right, so it's Calea, C-A-L-E-A,
Okay.
at Calea, CALEA.org.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.